Golf WRX is winning What's in the Bag with Nick Taylor from the 2024 Waste Management Open. So the Waste Management, much like the Super Bowl, went into extra holes. Unfortunately, the Super Bowl probably took away a little bit of the viewers from the amazing Waste Management final. Nick took care of Charlie Hoffman in some extra holes, but he did come away with the win. It's his 4th win on tour, and we're going to take a look at his bag. Now, Nick is a Titleist staffer, so most of the clubs here are going to be Titleist, but it's interesting because he plays a little mix of older and newer clubs. And we'll start with the driver, which is one of the older. So the driver is going to be the TSI3 from Titleist that was made just about 2 years ago, almost, a little about a year and a half. But the TSI3 is, again, much like the TSR3, it's going to be kind of the lower spinning, lower launching driver in the Titleist lineup then. It still has the full adjustability with the adjustable hosel, as well as a rear weight that can be put in 5 different positions for neutral, which is the way Nick has his set up, but you can also slide that weight into 2 positions of fade and 2 positions of draw. Now, Nick has this shafted up with a Fujikura Atmos Blue Tour Spec 6X. He's playing the hosel in A1, which is the standard position, so it's a 10-degree head. It's playing at 10 degrees and the standard lie setting there. Now, the Fujikura Atmos Blue Tour Spec is actually an older shaft that's been discontinued by Fujikura. Extremely smooth. I played this shaft for a little while as well. Extremely smooth, mid-launch, kind of mid-spin. It was kind of a little different than Ventus Blue, where it had a little stiffer handle section, but a little softer tip section. Extremely smooth, extremely consistent, and you still do see it in some bags from time to time. Now, the 3-wood is kind of a matching Titleist TSI series, but it's a TSI2 15-degree head, and the TSI again, but the 2 was the little higher launching, higher spinning head in relation to the TSI3. And a lot of times in fairway woods and even with drivers, these guys on tour are so efficient, they're not looking for the lowest spin, lowest launching head they can find. They can actually use a little bit of spin, a little bit of launch because they're so efficient. Now, this is actually shafted up with again, Fujikura Atmos Tour Spec Blue 6X. So he's got the exact same shaft and weight in his driver and 3-wood, which is a little untraditional because usually you see people move up 10 degrees of weight when they go to the 3-wood or a 5-wood or something like that. But it just also goes to show you that whatever feels right and whatever gets the launch conditions correct is what can be used. So matching 60-gram shaft in the 3-wood as the driver. Then we move into the 5-wood, which is a TaylorMade Sim 2 Max, so another slightly older head. 18-degree head. The Sim 2 Max, I thought, compared to the original Sim, was a little higher launching, a little bit more forgiving. And he's got that shafted up with the Mitsubishi Tensei AV Raw Blue 85TX. So yeah, jumping from 60 grams or 65 grams in the 3-wood to 85 grams in the 5-wood is a pretty significant jump. But again, it's all what feels right and what all gets the launch into the correct window. Now the 85TX, now in the Mitsubishis, the Tenseis, they did make an X and a TX. The TX version actually did play significantly, a little bit significantly different. It was a little bit more stout. I felt like it launched a little bit lower. But that is, again, another mid-launch, kind of mid to low spin shaft in the 5-wood. When you move into hybrid, he's got a 21-degree TSR2 head, so the new one, and that's shafted up with a Graphite Design Tour AD DI 95X. So the Graphite Design Tour AD DI has been just absolute cult status, legendary status on professional tours, amateur bags, whatever. It is the orange shaft with the white rings up near the handle section, and in that 95X, it plays kind of mid-launch, mid-low spin, and extremely smooth, extremely consistent, and works really well in fairway hybrid type usage where you're looking for a little added loft, but you still want that smooth feel and control. When you get into his irons, it's got a little mixed bag. He's got the brand new Titleist T200 4-iron, and then also the new T100s. So he's got a T200 4-iron matched up with 5 through 9 of the brand new T100s. So it makes a little bit of sense. The T200 offers just a little bit higher launch, a little bit more ball speed. So in the 4-iron, it makes sense to add that, even a little bit more forgiveness there. And then T100 in the 5 through 9, where you want that feel and control of those kind of scoring irons. Both of them, though, 4 through 9, all shafted up with True Temper Dynamic Gold S400 shafts. Yes, the S400, he's not playing X100s or anything like that. Now, the S400 does give you similar weight to the X100 and actually a little bit more. On average, it comes in about 132 grams, so a heavier shaft, but it's still kind of lower launch and lower spin in the Dynamic Gold family. When you move into the wedges, he's got a dynamic, or the brand new Titleist Vokey SM10 wedges. He does play an SM10 pitching wedge, a 4610 F grind, and then he moves into a 5414 F grind for his sand wedge. And for his 58 or his lob wedge, there's a Vokey Wedgeworks 58T grind. So the F grinds are full sole. They're kind of wider sole, a lot of bounce, as you can tell with the 54, 14 degrees in the F grind. Plays really well in soft conditions, or if you're have a steeper angle of attack. Also floats really well through the sand. And then when you get to the 58, the T grind, that's typically around 4 degrees of bounce. And that one there is built for a ton of trailing edge relief, so you can really open the face, and the leading edge doesn't come off the ground, so you can hit it from tight lies. But if you play it kind of square, there's a decent amount of bounce there that still allows you some good turf interaction and float through the sand. All of those are shafted up with matching dynamic gold Tour Issue S400 shafts. Again, about 132 grams, a little lower launching, lower spinning shaft. And then we move into putter, which is a little bit of old school as well. This is the TaylorMade Spider Tour Red that was kind of made famous by Jason Day back in 2016, which is, I believe, when this was released. Now, the retail model was all red and I think was either naked or just had a single sight line on the top. Nick's is a little different. It's got kind of a T alignment aid, and that T alignment is kind of a reverse T. A lot of times you'll have the T, the heel to toe line is up near the face. It's actually backwards. So you'll have a single sight line, and then when you get a little bit about halfway back on the putter, you'll get a line that runs from heel to toe across there. So a little different alignment aid on there, but it's still the all red slant neck putter that Mr. Jason Day made famous. So his is actually in relatively good shape, just a few paint chips on there, which is meaning he's taking care of it and using that head cover. And that is gripped up with a Super Stroke Zenergy pistol grip. Now the rest of his clubs have just standard kind of Golf Pride Tour velvet grips. And ball-wise, he's playing the Titleist Pro V1X. So that is Nick Taylor's bag for after winning the 2024 Waste Management Open. Exciting to see what he had, and we'll be excited to see next week to see what's in the winner's bag.